MLS listing subscribers, welcome back for another vendor spotlight. We've got an exciting show today. We've got Realtor.com on making their debut here, and I'm happy to announce Roger Stewart, the Director of Customer Training and Education. Roger, how are you doing today?
Fantastic. Just another beautiful day.
No, really appreciate you coming on. Yeah, no, it's been a bit hot here.
That's what I understand.
But yeah, you're in Florida, but
yes,
we're doing
a little
okay.
warm here too.
And Roger, I think obviously all our subscribers know who Realtor.com is in general, but I feel like it's kind of the whole purpose of this show is things that are really underutilized. And I think a lot of our subscribers might not realize, the vast amount of tools and resources you guys have that go beyond you're not just a listing portal, right? It shows listing, from lead generation and marketing to really expanding and building your brand. You guys kind of have it all there for agents, right?
We try to. We do have a tremendous amount of both paid as well as non-paid products. We do a ton of training to help especially new agents kind of get their brand out there and get noticed in the world and help build their brand. And so we've been doing that for a number of years, and my team is responsible for hopefully getting out there and getting that training with those agents.
Great. No, I really dig you guys the way you guys are doing it. It's kind of what we're doing. You have those videos for instructional how-tos, but you also take those more industry related conversations that are really important and what agents need, whether it's about the forecasting, about what economy or about using technology and that kind of thing. So you guys got a really vast resources, and I think the very first step is always the hardest step for agents, and that's kind of the call to action here. I think is let's talk about setting up their profile and getting started here, right?
Yes, profiles are definitely one of the first steps, especially a new agent while you're kind of coming on board. It's all about branding and really getting that information out there, getting yourself out there, making sure the search engines can find you, which is absolutely critical in the world we live in today. Right. It's not just a matter of getting one profile done, but getting profiles everywhere you can find done and then setting them up kind of the right way for the search engines to be able to find you and kind of boost your ranking. So we teach, we have several classes that teach a lot of that information to help new agents get a good start.
Yeah, I've seen your power up your profile, and I think you guys described the business card as a dynamic virtual business card, which I thought was a good way to look at it, right? And so it is crucial, especially for agents starting out, right? Those first few years are so critical as they're building their brand, and take advantage of these resources for our subscribers. So,
that's one of the most important parts of the whole thing is all this stuff is free. Right. Profiles are free. All the training is free. So, why not?
No excuses.
Set it up, and it's going to have a tremendous impact on your future business.
Great. Fantastic. Yeah. If you're ready, let's go ahead and take a look.
Sure.
I think you've got a few slides which shows
I do.
these features here.
Okay. So essentially, I'm taking kind of a bit from one of our training classes, and I'm not going to go through a lot of information on the detail. As I mentioned, we have tons of training on this, and we invite everybody to kind of join in. But really, if you're just getting started, or even if you've been in the business for a while, getting out there and branding yourself and making sure that it's done correctly. I know there's a lot of agents that have done their profiles, or at least done a few things in their profiles, but really there's a few things that are critical to make sure that you're getting the most out of it. And first of all, pictures. You absolutely have to have profile photos. We have a ton of agents out there that have maybe dropped in and put a phone number or an email address in their Realtor.com profile, but they haven't put any pictures in. And as you go through this thing, the one main thing that people need to remember is when people are out there searching, they're looking to make a connection with a person. Right. Really hard to do that if you don't have a picture that they can relate to.
Yeah. Would you pick somebody that doesn't have a photo?
Exactly.
If you're looking for an agent.
So, we know that agents that do take the time to put a good, nice profile picture in there, obviously they're going to get 5 times the inquiries. And again, when we're talking about inquiries, these are people that have either gone through Google or come to our page and found your profile, and all the leads that come through these profiles are also free. So it's another reason why we say, why not take the few minutes to get it set up and start building your brand. Obviously, testimonials and biographies are huge. Everybody knows that. We go into a lot of detail on different ways to build these and really make them stand out. And even at the end of my little session here, I'll talk a little bit about a few things you want to keep in mind as you're kind of putting all this together. And then in this day and age, really video is a huge part of it. We know Google's the biggest search engine out there. Well, number two is YouTube, who's owned by Google. So if you really want to get traction, you kind of have to be in both places. And so we have some great courses on how to put together videos and how to drop them into your profile. Again, we know agents that take the time to shoot video, 66% are more qualified leads per year.
Wow.
That's a pretty substantial number.
It's big.
Again, that's the world we live in today. So people really are out there looking to get to know people, and a video is a great way to do that.
We're definitely visual people, and I think a lot of our agents, were forced into that world when COVID hit, right? I know we were, as a training department, kind of forced to get up to that learning curve real quick.
Yes.
So with the agents.
And so have the consumers, and really they haven't left it. When we get in one of our training sessions, we have some video numbers. We know that 2/3 of buyers and sellers, NER did their study on it, and 2/3 of buyers and sellers would prefer to work with an agent that is using video marketing. So we know the customers out there want it too. So it really is a big part of it. Right now, I think the two stats we have in there is if I remember correctly, over 1 billion minutes of, 1 billion hours of video are viewed on YouTube each and every day.
Wow.
That's pretty substantial.
It's amazing. It's really now become an expectation, really.
Yeah, it really has. So when we start talking about most of the classes, when we talk about profiles, most of the principles we're teaching really apply to anywhere you have a profile, whether it's LinkedIn, Realtor.com, your broker's profile, even on our competitors' pages. You want to take advantage of all of them. As far as our platform, what you're getting with the Realtor.com site, again, it's a free profile. It's just sitting there waiting for you. It's a very robust platform. It was rebuilt about 3 or 4 years ago now. And we've added a lot of new things that kind of go on behind the scenes that most agents aren't aware of. And so that's a big part of it. A lot of the information that is in the body of your profile is actually information that is sent out to be indexed by the search engines and are used as keywords. So when people are out there just doing a random search for properties, the more of those things that you match up on, the higher you're going to come back in, or the higher your likelihood that you're going to come back in their search results, and the higher ranked you'll be. Again, these are all free things. It's just a matter of putting the right pieces together. Of course, we have ratings. We have a system in our profile system that is, it's called Real Ratings. It's only for customers you have closed deals with. So not anybody can just go to your page and leave you a 5-star or 2-star review. It's only customers you've actually closed business with. We also have a second one called recommendations. This is an area where you can bring in recommendations or ratings maybe you've gotten on a different page. You can actually copy and paste those in. So you can make sure you're getting mileage out of all the recommendations or ratings you've gotten elsewhere. You can get them from colleagues, you can get them from family members, you can get them from vendors. And if you're a brand new agent, this is really the area you want to focus on, because until you close a deal, you can't get the rating side, the 5-star deal. So we recommend you stick with the recommendations, really build that area out, and we'll teach you how to do that as well. And then, of course, this all comes back to, again, just kind of tying it all together with SEO, making sure that you're doing the right things in all the right places, that the search engines can find it all and make sure that they can find you. So how do you do this? I'm going to run through just kind of a real quick one, but we'll have more resources for you a little bit later. Sure. Obviously, start off at Realtor.com. That's the easiest way. Upper right corner, there's a sign in. Now, when the pop-up pops up, make sure you're clicking the blue button for professionals. Sometimes agents will go over and click on the other side just because they see a place to fill in an email address. That's for consumers. And it's okay if you have a consumer account, but you want to make sure that you stick with the pro side, because that's going to take you to your professional dashboard. Now, if you don't have a login, there is a create login button right there, so you can get signed up and it'll walk you through the steps. We have videos and everything that take you through the whole process. Once you're in the right place, you'll know it because it'll say Realtor.com for professionals. You're just going to go right down the left-hand side to profiles and manage profile, and you're on the page. From here, it gets really, really simple. Photos at the top of the page, just like you do in Facebook. We do recommend having a really good and preferably somewhat recent profile picture, and make sure you're using that same picture across all of your profiles. It's also really important that anybody that's looking for you recognizes you the minute they see you. So you want to try and keep that consistent. And then after that, it's really simple. The rest of the body of the information, you're going to access by clicking this little edit button. and it opens up the page and it's fill in the blank. After that, you just go through, fill in the blank, click save, and you're done. It's a very, very simple process. So we tried to keep it as easy as we could.
We like simple.
Simple's good. Simple's very good. Now, I promised you a couple of quick pointers when you're putting this whole thing together, some things to kind of remember. We mentioned this kind of at the beginning. Consumers really want to connect with you as a person. That's their main goal. So you want to make sure that you're providing that kind of information. Try and stay away from the sales pitchy stuff like, you need to use me because I'm the top agent. You should use me because of this. Nobody wants to be sold. So, kind of share things that about your past, your history in the community, how you give back in the community, things you enjoy doing about your job, things that will allow you to help them find their dream home. The main question anybody looking at your profile really has is, what can you do for me? That's the question you have to answer. Now, they can be a buyer, they can be a seller. Answers might be a little different depending on who they are, but that's really the only question they're looking to have answered. You want to be careful if you have a lot of professional achievements. If you put in too many things about, $1 million producer and I've done this and I've won this award and that award, that's great within our industry. But you have to remember that part of our largest audience out there right now is these first-time buyers. And they tend to shy away from people that have too much information because they're intimidated. They figure, I'm still kind of learning this stuff. I don't want to ask a stupid question or take up this person's time. So I'm going to go find somebody else that's maybe not the $1 million buyer, seller representative. So kind of be careful with that stuff when you're putting that stuff out there. And of course, use every platform that you have available to you. That's the biggest one. Be consistent across all of them, but make sure you're using all of them. That way they can find you anywhere. And of course, your search engines can find you anywhere as well.
Nice.
And
those
that's
are some
it.
great tips.
That's
Those are great tips. And
profiles.
it really is simple as those agents that take the time to set up that profile are going to get more leads, obviously, than agents that don't. And you saw how you showed us how easy it is. So to set that dashboard up and everything.
Absolutely.
So
it's really, really simple. It's really not spending any time doing it, it's investing it, because the payback is, I've been training this class across the country for quite some time. And when I go back into markets and retrain, I always have agents that were there for the first class. And they say, I've gotten, I've closed several deals in the last year because of the training, and I'm back to, get some more nuggets because I'm sure there's still some things I could do.
Nice.
So we know it works. It's just taking the time and investing it in yourself.
Right. And, we're in September, Roger, we're going to blink and it's going to be Thanksgiving. So we're getting into the end of that year, right? And it's a great time for agents to take stock and say, hey, what have they been doing? Is it working? Is it not working? Do they need to go ahead and focus more on social media, their profile, expanding their business and their brand? So, really a great time to, as we go into that new year, to kind of take advantage of these resources. Like you said, they're free. Mm-hmm. And we love our agents to really get in there and take advantage of these because they are great resources.
Yeah.
And nice and easy to use. Now, you're in Florida, right, Roger? We're out here in California, and unfortunately, it's been 111 here yesterday. It's been a really hot week, and we're still expecting another day or two of it. So, unfortunately, a lot of areas in California are becoming increasingly fire hazards, right? And that is increasing the risk that they, and you guys just rolled out, I think maybe just a few months ago, right?
Yes, actually,
this fire hazard, just wildfire risk. And I think that's going to really resonate with a lot of our agents, because that's a big concern out here, especially for a home buyer now.
Well, and believe me, I'm living in Florida now, but I'm actually from Scottsdale, Arizona. So, I feel your pain with the heat. That's why I decided to move closer to some water. At least I get some ocean breeze here and a little more humidity. You guys get both, unfortunately. Yeah. But I understand that, and I also understand the wildfire thing, because coming from Arizona, that's always been a factor there for many, many years growing up. So what we're talking about, if you haven't had a chance to see this, so right now, hopefully you're seeing on screen the Realtor.com page. I just picked a random property that's currently actively listed on the MLS and showing up on Realtor.com. And when you go into any of the listing detail page, we have a section called environmental risk. And so in here, we've had flood factor for about, I think, almost 2 years now, where we have a company, or a foundation, I should say. It's actually called First Street Foundation, got together with FEMA and put together kind of a risk factor for every property in the country. Essentially, when you look at things, when you're talking floodplain and you're looking at like the FEMA plans, they paint with a very broad brush. They don't get into the neighborhood or down to the individual street level of varying risk. And that's kind of what we introduced with the flood factor. That's what First Street did, is they actually got all the way down into that level. Well, they've now gotten together with the Forestry Service. And if we go in here, as soon as you open up, you click Learn More. That's actually going to give you a quick pop-up and give you some various resources to learn more about it. If you click in here, we actually have a whole separate page. If you click on that, it takes you to a full Realtor.com page that goes through a lot of the detail and explains it. But the actual report is up here in this little black button. And if we open that up, it actually brings you to a page that provides all three of the factors for this property. So the flood factor I already mentioned. Right now, we're looking at this particular property, and this address has a minimal fire risk. And in here, it's going to go through taking information. It takes climate information, kind of the history of it, plus where we kind of see things going with the climate over the coming years. It takes information from the Forestry Service, historical information there as well, everything from not only fires, but different forests and how they're managed in different areas. Things that pose a much greater or lesser hazard. It goes through a lot of area of vulnerability, a lot of different reports that you can go through and kind of get a lot of great information on any property. And the same is also true, as I mentioned, as I was preparing today, I didn't even know about this one. So the new heat report, this one does have a moderate factor on it. And I think most of you are experiencing that now. Why it has a moderate factor, which means it's more likely to stay above 94 degrees for X number of days. But it also goes through a lot of information on energy usage, heat trends, safety, environmental changes that are causing this, and things that we can kind of expect in the future. Now, none of these are saying anything is going to happen or it's absolutely not going to happen, but it's based on trending and the information we do have. And it just kind of gives an overall factor of what it could be, to help both you as well as your buyers and sellers be a little more prepared.
That's really cool stuff. I'm glad you guys added that. And I know our agents' clients are going to really appreciate, that kind of information. Let them make the most informed decision. Mm-hmm. So that's really neat stuff. I'm glad we showed it here today. As we kind of wrap up here, Roger, I want to make sure we let everyone know your industry relations hub. It's a really cool site. It's got videos, obviously, industry related webinars, all types of good stuff in there here. And I think, we're looking at it right now.
Yes.
It's a great resource, right?
It's fantastic. It's really simple. It's hub.realtor.com. And in here, we have just a tremendous amount of resources. There's training, there's videos on how to do this and how to do that. We have home seller guides and buyer guides that you can download and rebrand. Our marketing department has put a lot of these types of things together and white papers together that you can download and rebrand. There's a lot of information in here that you can grab for your own social media. It's really all designed as a resource for you to be able to access this information. It's packaged so you can resend it, and it's all designed to look like it's coming from you, the agent or broker, not from Realtor.com. So you're more than welcome to go out there and take a look at all the different types of information. You can have it sorted. There's a tremendous amount of stuff that we could spend a whole nother 20 minutes talking about.
That's a lot of stuff. And you guys have some really cool industry related ones, like technologies that boost productivity, generating listings. And I was just going through the list, and so I saw you teach some, Roger, and I know Andrew and your crew, different ones, and really could be useful. So just want to make sure everybody knew, hey, not only can you go here, right, and use that topic list, find the one, but we also, you guys were nice enough to let us link your training webinars on our calendar, our training calendar. So make sure, to our agents, make sure you take a look at that. I know we just had one yesterday. I think it was a lead generation one that we linked up to one of your classes. And so we really appreciate that. And going forward, Roger, you're always welcome on this show.
Thank you.
But we'd love to have you back and some of your crew back. And maybe we'll take a couple of focus episodes, on maybe powering up your profile or different industry related things. I think it'd be really great. Give them a little taste of the kind of content that they can find that you're creating on your side of the world there. And I think our agents will really appreciate it. So.
And if they're looking for any of the training, we have it both live and on demand. And I mentioned hub.realtor.com. This is support.realtor.com.
Gotcha.
And then when they're out there, all you have to do is hit the training page, and that's where all of that training, and as you mentioned, I think your calendar is linked to a lot of our different training. We have just a ton of it out here, and it's both on demand and live, and it's all free. So they're more than welcome to jump in there and learn more stuff.
Fantastic. Highly advised. Roger, I want to thank you for coming on, and I look forward to the future. Everybody, our subscribers, keep an eye out. We're going to do some more great things with Realtor.com here. Thanks for being such a great partner with us, Roger. We really appreciate your time here today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Take care.